very good afternoon to all of you, and a very warm welcome to all the people that are watching us from Brazil, and a good afternoon also to all the people who are watching us from the Netherlands. My name is Peggy, I'm Managing Director of Dutcham, and I'm very happy and very pleased that I can be the host today of another CEO talk with a business leader of one of our Dutch companies here in Brazil. Now, I see that still a lot of people are joining us into the meeting room. Take your time, have a sit and relax, I would say. I will guide you through a few practical things maybe in the meantime before kicking off effectively this webinar. As I said, it's a webinar, so that means that you can see us, but obviously we cannot see you. But that doesn't mean that you cannot interact with us because we have a chat box. So feel free to ask your questions during this webinar, and we will try to tackle them during the live session that we have now. We promise you, if we don't have the time to answer your question that you send us through the chat box, we will answer it later on through mail. So we will get back to you if that's okay for you. Now, I'm looking at the virtual meeting room. I see still a lot of people coming in, but I think we are not going to wait because we have a very important topic on the agenda. I think in these Corona times, the big question also is about the employment market, about the recruitment. How does that look like? So I'm very happy that we can tackle these questions today to a person who has been in the business for a while and who is definitely somebody who can share a lot of his expertise during this session. Now, it's a person who is working for one of our top Dutch companies here in Brazil. He is from a background, educational background, an industrial engineer, graduated here in São Paulo University, but he also obtained his MBA later in general management in Barcelona. Now, he has been building an impressive career, most of it here inside in Brazil, but also outside of Brazil, mainly in operations, supply chain and procurement. But in 2019, quite recently, he moved to Randstad and took the position of CEO. So a good choice to join finally the Dutch community, I think, and I would like to invite Fabio Battaglia to join me here on stage because I see you're already there. Hi Fabio, if you put on the microphone, we can also hear you. Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hi everyone. Thank you, Peggy, for this incredible opportunity. I'm looking forward to sharing some thoughts with you. That's, and open for any questions you might have in this enjoyable afternoon.
Okay, well, sorry that we had to interrupt your lunch break for now on this Friday, but we will promise that we will keep you only for 40 minutes. This is the deal, Fabio, so we will not take you longer on this Friday. But I think indeed it's very nice to have you with us because I think that a lot of people are asking a lot of questions, especially these times when it comes down to recruitment, talent management, and these kind of topics. So thank you very much already for accepting our invitation. Now, for those, and I don't think there are a lot of them, but for those who don't know really the company Randstad, I would like to propose to just have a look at a small video that you gave us on Randstad.
We live in a post-digital world. Swiping, liking, tweeting, and tapping have all become the center of our daily lives. We wake up, log in, and check out. While technology has made our life easier, it's also made it less personal. But it doesn't have to be. At Randstad, we believe real connections aren't just made from data and algorithms. It takes empathy, intuition, and instinct. That's why we combine the power of today's intelligent technology with the passion of our HR professionals to create an experience that's inherently more human, one that allows us to sit down and ask the right questions, to dive deeper than a resume or a job opening, to understand the heart and soul of a company, to propel our candidates and clients forward, human forward. Progress that helps all of us realize our true potential. Because a job doesn't define who we are. But who we are defines the job we do. Randstad. Human forward.
Nice introduction, I think, Fabio, of a fantastic company. Allow me, for those people who just stepped in, to welcome you as well on this CEO talk at Dutcham. My name is Peggy, and I'm here today with Fabio Battaglia, CEO from Randstad, Brazil. Fabio, before we get into the real serious questions, who is Fabio? Who is the person behind the CEO?
Well, thank you, Peggy, again. Fabio is the eldest son of two Italians who migrated to Brazil back in the 50s and met themselves at the university, both engineers. And later, here I am. I have two siblings, today married to Christina. I have a 13-year-old son, Luca. We have a very cute dog, Shih Tzu dog, with 2-year-old, who brings lots of joy to our home as well. And I say that that's a reason, or grown around, Italian traditions, slow food, long lunches, long meals, lots of pasta and good wine. I have developed a very, let's say, intense interest for, let's say, food and wine. So this links to my, let's say, main hobbies that are linked to traveling around the world, visiting wineries, tasting local foods. And at this moment, I'm very much annoyed because I cannot plan my trips, for the future, at least for the short and medium term. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to have been in Sicily this July, to enjoy summer in Italy, visiting wineries that I had been planning for a while. And the pandemic, put a stop, put that plan on hold. But this is me looking forward, to coming back to trips, to traveling, to tasting new wines, to preparing food with friends and families. I like to prepare pastas and risottos, bring people together, people around, tasting a good wine. This is me. This is a summary.
Well, let's say then, Fabio, I share this passion with you on good food and good wine. So let's see if we go back to normal. I will come and taste the pasta at your home.
Absolutely.
But I think indeed a lot of people are here in the same situation, not able to travel. So we're stuck a bit in the same situation, all of us now. And I see that you're also still from out of home, that you not went back to the office yet, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So everybody's working from home. We got back home on the day that the pandemic was announced. On March 13, we were closing our sales camp. There's a sales convention where we were training, our commercial teams, and the pandemic came out. The following Monday, everybody was already working from home, from Manaus to Porto Alegre, with no disruptions at all to our clients and candidates. So it's been a while. It's been almost 6 months, In a couple of days, we'll be 6 months at home. But, we get used to that, and we think this is going to be part of, the normal routine, at least, in a hybrid model, at least partially at home as we move forward.
Yeah, well, we will come back on that one as well later on in the talk, Fabio. But maybe just getting it back to Randstad in the first place. It was a nice video, by the way. Thank you for that. I think it's a very Dutch company. I mean, founded in 1960, still with the headquarters in Diemen, if I'm not wrong. And correct me if I'm wrong. But I think today more than 39,000 people are working for the organization. It's quite impressive. Present in 38 countries across the world. Now, how important is Randstad Brazil on this global map?
Yeah, I'll tell you that, Brazil is a very strategic market for Randstad. We have a huge population, so huge opportunities, for giving employment to people and helping companies, invest and develop their projects. So Randstad got to Brazil 10 years ago, acquiring a local company, rebranded the business, and then started, investing in people and technology and processes to make it what it is today. So lots of investment, lots of, client solutions have been developed since then. And we have been able really to put Randstad Brazil in the spotlight, especially this year during the pandemic, as we have been the company the operation that has grown the most across the 38 operations we have worldwide. We are totally against the wave, against the tide, growing 20% year over year. We have managed to hire 15,000 people to our clients during the pandemic. So this is an impressive growth, 100% growth if we compare it to the normal times, let's say 6 months back in last year. Meaning that we have a scalable solution these days. We have a broad reach. We are present in almost all the states of Brazil and providing not only solutions for temporary labor, that was the origin of the company, but also developing into more value-added solutions like RPO, where we also have, the reputation of being the biggest operation of RPO outside the United States. So Brazil is now relevant. It's a medium operation, but showing the fastest growth and the most impressive increase in terms of market share in our solutions.
Fantastic. So it's not that bad year for you.
No, it's a very good year, as a matter of fact. And we're here because we were able to prepare for that. I guess the company has done a very good job by setting up all the technology platforms that we needed to really be scalable and provide services to clients wherever they are. But also investing in talent pools that allowed us, to expedite candidates quickly and precisely when clients needed that. So it was a matter, the strategy that the company put together a few years ago called Tech and Touch, technology with the expertise that we have in each market, allowed us to be here where we are today, growing in 2 digits.
Because you already mentioned it, Fabio, the temporary labor contracts. When I think back at Randstad many years ago, this was always, the linked one-on-one on Randstad. We're very known for this temporary labor contract. As you said, you've been evolving to really a world player in terms of global HR services. But did that change something fundamentally to the basics of the company, to the DNA of the company, to let's say the core values of the company? Did that go through a transformation as well?
I think we haven't gotten away from the values and the purpose. As the video showed, we are here to connect individuals and companies so that they can reach their full potential. And as we do that, for people, we're transforming their lives by providing new jobs, providing new opportunities, and we're supporting companies as they grow and invest. So it's a very noble purpose that we have, and we have it since the 60s. By the way, next 29th year later this month, we will be 60 years old. So there will be a global celebration, virtual global celebration. We're very glad, to see that happening 6 years later. The values remain the same through even expanding into other, services like RPO, technology hiring, recruiting and selection, outplacement. We are here, to know our markets, our candidates and clients, to serve them with excellence, to build trust through these deliveries, keeping promoting simultaneously the interests of clients, candidates, and our shareholders as well. So everybody, has those values very clear, and we are following those values, since 1960, when Mr. Fritz Goldschmeding founded the company in Amsterdam.
Exactly. Well, it's good to hear indeed that you stick, to the initial values of the company. But I think that also the whole market went through a transformation, didn't it? I mean, if you compare it from the beginning, how different are the expectations of the market? If you really look at HR services that are requested by companies, how different are they?
Yeah, we have lots of events, like the pandemic, or, more structural events like the digitalization, the automation. And we see clients wanting or looking for more flexibility in the way they hire people, they contract talent, and also higher speed. So we need to be flexible to adjust to their needs. We have to be faster in the way we present candidates, and eventually at lower costs. So that's why we have been building talent pools, to have a set of recurring profiles already pre-qualified so that we can ship those talents as soon as possible to clients, as they can really, accelerate their investment plans, their new projects, and so on and so forth. Also, we believe clients have been asking for more customized solutions and shorter programs. In the end, we have been, developing end-to-end programs, very, long-term, but these days they want shorter projects, very niche or specific kind of projects like the diversity and inclusion projects, young talent projects for internships and trainees, recruiting on demand, where they have specific peaks of, demands they need additional, let's say, support to put that project forward. So it's about customization, it's about speed and flexibility in most of the cases.
Yeah.
And for candidates, they want an improved experience. You see lots of job boards, lots of pages. You try to apply to a new position. It's not that fast. It's not that easy. It's very complicated. It's not transparent. So it needs to be intuitive, transparent, fast, and easy for candidates to really engage and interest themselves for a specific position as well.
What is the biggest challenge then? Is it to get in the companies who are looking for the talents, or is it to get in the talents? Or is it both the challenge?
I guess both challenges. Today we have plenty of availability of resources, of talents, given the unemployment rates that we have. And that becomes a bigger challenge for us because you have too many people applying for one specific job. Then is where, technology and people expertise go into play. Because through technology, we have search and match engines with AI that we can filter those profiles and get, let's say, to the most suitable ones. And then we have the expertise of the human being who applies intuition, who applies empathy, emotional intelligence, and evaluates really if there will be a cultural fit between the client and the candidates. Because it's not about only the hard skills, the soft skills and the cultural fit play a very important role these days.
Yeah, maybe even more than before, right? The empathy
Exactly.
and soft skills, and yeah, exactly. I'm going back to the company as such, Fabio. The ultimate goal 2030, as Randstad put it forward, it's to maximize the future of the employment and contribute to the economic growth. A bit scary to say this in times of pandemic. I mean, Randstad said by 2030 we're willing to touch the work lives of more than 500 million employees worldwide. Now, considering this pandemic, I already heard you saying that the results are very well here in Brazil. But do you think it's still realistic, this target for 2030?
It's a very ambitious target, but I have to make it clear that touching the work lives of 500 million people does not mean that we're going to provide 500 million jobs, right? 500 million opportunities. That means we should be the main point of reference for any candidate who wants to have, advice on his career, advice on his competences, content about, new trends in the marketplace, and also being a job board, the job board of reference. So let's see, we want to be the Amazon of employment, of, the professional lives, or the Google, if you say. So if someone wants to see what's going on in my career, what's the next step for me, they have been, let's say, working in services for a while, what's the next step in my career? What gaps I need to fill? How do I get prepared for that? So bringing content and linking those opportunities to candidates, we believe this is the way to go. Also, because of the pandemic, you have much more people on the streets, unemployed. So they are looking for new ways to reskill or upskill. And these two words are very key these days, for the new positions that are going to be prevail in the future. But we know that, it's going to be a tough ride until then. And we want to be, the brand of reference for them to look for and to search support when, developing the professional life.
Do you feel that people are looking for a job now these days are also asking this kind of, let's say, a companions guiding of a recruitment agency to help them in reposition their career? Is this something maybe new as well for you?
It's new, but I think it's more a proactive movement that Randstad is taking than, coming from candidates. We have lots of information on the web. So the gig economy puts lots of data and info available for everyone. It's very difficult to filter what is usable or useful or not. But we believe that if we can proactively influence the professional lives of, 500 million people, we'll be doing our job, our very, very linked to our purpose. So this is the way we believe it's going to be.
Challenging goal indeed, but very, very motivating as well. Now, back to Corona, I mean, we can't go around it. I mean, the whole world has been upside down. And when I think about a company like Randstad, I mean, you're not only talking about, some products. I mean, this is a company where there is a heart and a soul behind. How do you manage this? I mean, because we've been going to a remote way of working. But I mean, you still, and you talked about data, and it's all very interesting. But if you talk about people, I mean, there is a personal contact, there is a personal way of dealing with people. All of a sudden, this has been put on a hold due to the pandemic. How do you manage this, Fabio? How can you deal with it both inside of your organization, but also work towards your clients and your employees?
Yeah, I guess in terms of technology, as I said before, we were lucky to be already prepared for that. So providing the platforms, the notebooks, the smartphones, to keep people working remotely. But we also had to support them to adopt the technology and to make the best use out of that, to be effective in times in achieving their targets, being productive, managing teams virtually, let's say managing time in an effective way, in a way also to have work-life balance. But in terms of, having people engaged, we believe it's a matter of communication. We have been over-communicating all the time inside when we talk about our employees. So we have a weekly newsletter where we update all the company about what's going on. We have the employee forum, which is a monthly forum with all the employees to talk about strategy, to about client wins, to talk and share the numbers, the figures we are achieving and delivering, to talk about next challenges and so on. We have implemented the coffee chatting with the management team. It's a bi-weekly chat where you have everybody picking one member of the management team, including myself, to talk about anything they want to talk or explore. And we have a very interesting program to have people, engaged, but relieving the pressure as well, trying to disconnect, called the It's For You. Every Friday, we have 1 hour call with everyone to talk about anything but business. We start with a mindfulness meditation. Then we open it, to virtual competitions, virtual games, to talk about food, to talk about regional aspects of each branch that we have across Brazil, to have people play, song contests. So, that brings people together, people expose themselves to the others. That helps, bring more trust, and people get more engaged, even distant from each other. Yeah. And on day-to-day, if before we used to call our peers, our teams, now we are, having video calls all the time. So we are seeing people more than we saw before the pandemic now, because every call for us is with open cameras, with Google Hangouts. We have, adopted this methodology. We want to see each other, to keep the facing, to keep, that kind of energy going instead of just the phone. So these kind of tools have helped us really to help the connection grow and keep the engagement high inside. And externally, we haven't seen many changes, Peggy, because in most of the cases we already did, let's 80% of the process virtually with our digital tools, including the admission of the candidates, the electronic submission of documents, the electronic sign-off of the documents. So, but in the end, we always had the human interface. So now it's through video. It's the final video interview. I'm checking your energy. I'm checking your if you're really, ready to go, really want to pursue this challenge.
Can you do that, Fabio? I mean, how real is this? I mean, isn't it a bit different? I mean, how can you test somebody's energy, drive, motivation? I mean, as being an ex-HR manager, I was always, very much into the direct contact with a person to feel how they react and how they... Isn't that different? Are you able to really analyze somebody in a good way, in a virtual way?
Yes, we have been successful doing that. So it's about the hard skills that we already check the boxes. We have also the competences evaluation, personality profile evaluation, all the technical tests, English languages. But then in the end, we're trying to capture if there's a good cultural fit, if the values of the person matches with the values of our company, our client's company, and also in terms of attitude. So by getting examples and also getting references, that we have video interviews with references that for all the candidates that we interview. So as a matter of fact, putting that together and also having multiple people interviewing the candidates, we have multiple impressions, and in the end we have some panels in which we share our impressions and get to a conclusion of, providing that person a job or not, if it's a good fit or not in the end. So it's multiple, impressions together, having to, yeah.
But do you feel that maybe people in companies, if one of your clients is asking for a senior level manager, for example, to recruit, I mean, do you think that they have the same facilities, or they have the same easiness to recruit somebody through a virtual way? I mean, because you're the specialist, you can bring a candidate, but do the company has are they not facing a bit more difficulties to make a good selection of final candidates?
Maybe, yeah, because we have, our platform goes through the whole, funnel, the whole candidate journey. So it's very, easy and transparent and intuitive for the candidate. But in the end, we have the human interface. While we have the short lists, we have also now having the clients interviewing these candidates by video. So the video interview tools, it was already here before the pandemic, because it saves the client's time. We can record the interview. It cannot always be online, but the candidate records, answers for a few critical questions, and then the client, during the weekend, at night, whenever he can, he looks at the answers, he looks at the attitude, the language, the profile, and then picks the final one to have a final, let's say, live interview. This had been working fine prior to the pandemic. We kept running this model with the clients, and things have been successful this far.
Super, well, great to hear. Now, I think if you also talk about Randstad, commitment to gender equality and inclusion and diversity in general, I think it's also one of the things in your organization that is key. I think we can say that Randstad is helping a lot of women also into leadership positions. It's great to hear that, because I think if you look at Brazil, I mean, we still have a long way, don't we, Fabio? I saw last week that the national soccer team here in Brazil, the women's will have the same payoff now as the men. It almost looks like a statement. How difficult is it for you in Brazil to commit to this gender equality, inclusion and diversity? How do you see it?
We inside Randstad, we do not have, let's say, quotas or objectives, for percentages. But inside Randstad, it's typically a women business. 80% of our employees are women. Around the managers, 60% are women, and in my direct reports, 30% are women. So you see, there's a very, there's space to grow. Yeah, there's room for growth. That's it. That's room for growth. But in the end, we're not, defining we need to hire, for a certain race or gender, or it's about the hard skills, the competencies, the soft skills, the cultural fit. And in the end, what comes out, it's what comes out. So we're not predefining anything inside Randstad. And we have been, working with clients to really boost the more diversity and inclusion. As a matter of fact, with some of our colleagues here, members of Dutcham, we have been working, to boost those numbers, to bring more diversity to clients. And we can have some tools for that. Besides partnerships with non-for-profit associations and universities, where we can have a pool of talents within different diverse groups, we have, let's say, through video interviews, again, we can blur the image and we can blur the voice so that the other side of the screen does not recognize if I am black or white or short or tall or fat or thin. You're looking for the content, you're looking for the attitude, you're looking for, the answers that you're searching when talking to a few candidates. And this has helped us really to select very good people, regardless of the gender, race, or whatever, and assign them to very important companies across Brazil. So it's increasing. It's in everybody's agenda. We're looking for very specific projects to improve diversity and inclusion. It's challenging because it's not easy to find in these groups everybody who's fluent in English or fluent in Spanish, who's tech savvy or whatever. So sometimes we have some restrictions, but still, whenever we can develop, let's say, those capabilities inside the company, we recommend for the companies, for clients to hire those guys or those girls and really, build on the capabilities inside. If it's not something critical, to start the job from the first moment.
But do you think it's more let's say, an issue here in Brazil? You've been working across the world. You've been doing a lot of projects across the world. Do you think this is something that is very much Brazilian, or?
No, it's a global challenge, Peggy. It's a global challenge, but there's a global movement around it. Everybody has already, understood that's key, because from diversity, from diverse, backgrounds, diverse origins, whatever, we bring diverse ideas that, boosts innovation, boosts the creation of new solutions, new approaches to the market. So it's very rich. So the more companies could invest and really, find the suitable candidates with diversity, let's say the richer the discussions will be, the better probably they'll be prepared, for different challenges in the world, the business.
Well, by the way, Randstad is also part of our Dutcham Inclusion and Diversity Committee, right? And let's hope that we can also move things quicker forwards when it comes down to gender and to inclusion and diversity as such among the Dutch companies. Now, to the expectations of employees, I mean, because times have been, as you said, for 6 months, most of us are at home. We changed completely our lives. Do you believe that also the expectations in terms of the way that people look at a job has fundamentally changed over these corona times? Do people have other expectations? Will they look for other types of job? How do you see this?
Yeah, I have to say that we have a very interesting research that we do globally every year. That is the Randstad Employer Brand Research, where we figure out, the main reasons, which companies am I attracted to? Which are the main reasons that attract me or make me leave a company? So, and today is very complex because we have 4 generations living under the same roof: Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, boomers. So everyone with different aspirations or objectives and so on. By the way, I can share that survey with you later on, so we can share with this community, Dutcham community. But what we see, Peggy, in terms of attraction reasons, still salary and benefits are the most important factor, then career progression, then a pleasant work environment, then work-life balance, and then job security. Since the last 3 years, guess which one has grown the most? Work-life balance.
Well, exactly.
So in the preference, yeah. Salary and benefits, career progression, not that much. They're going down, but work-life balance is the one that's prevailing. We see the growth coming.
Even more after Corona, you think? Yeah.
Absolutely. Now people work, beyond work-life balance and a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Now, I want to do something that's useful for the society, for me, that fuels me, that makes me really, happy and proud for what I do. And also allows me, because, living at home with, my kids, my wife, my husband, makes me see that there's a different, story behind what I do. It's important to really share personal moments with professional, try to balance those, try to combine them in the most effective way. People got used to that. So it's very difficult now to say it's over, go back to the office 5 days a week. It should be a trouble probably in the future. And what makes people leave the company? Sense of purpose. When the company is lacking sense of purpose, so it's just there, but no social, no environmental giving back to society. A mismatch between personal and company values. So this is also a critical factor. And poor relationship with the peers or the direct boss. Yeah. We used to say, we're not leaving the company, I'm leaving my boss, right?
Yeah.
So this is very true, keeps being very true. But still, the purpose and the value match is a very important set of features today to keep people working for the company as a retention factor.
Yeah, well, I think this is a strong message as well to your colleagues in the industries, right? To pay attention to that, because as we know, it's a bit of a hunt for talent. So we have to keep that in the back of our minds. Now, you hear that going back to the office, a lot of people, they are afraid of going back to the office. We were all afraid of going remotely or not going to the office. In the meantime, after 6 months, you see the opposite, that people are saying like, hey, I prefer to work from out of home. Do you see something there on a long term as well? Will this become a bit of a new normal, or do you see?
Yes, I guess the hybrid model will prevail, because people now see it's important to have also, to balance personal and professional lives, to avoid the time spent in commuting, it's a waste of time. And most of the people today are afraid because, to get infected within the public transportation system. So we can do whatever we can, with physical distancing, masks, alcohol, everything that we can do as leaders within our offices, within our walls, but the commuting part of it is out of our control. So if people get infected, then they will be 2 weeks or more out. They can infect their families. So the major concern lies around the public transportation system. Until we do not have that safe, or the vaccines are not available and proved effective, maybe we should think twice before sending people back, because it would cost us lots of headache in the future.
Well, the 1 billion question then to you as well. When will we go back to normal?
Excellent question. In terms of business economy, we think by the end of next year. So probably it will take us another year to get back to normal, let's say, business level economy levels. But we'll build trust again in the system, in the health system, and in getting close to others, in really sharing the same desk or the same room. Probably as we have the vaccines available. And the normal will not be normal again, right? It will be a hybrid model, lots of technology involved, lots of virtual leadership needed, time management needed. So the skills that we have been testing and proving these days are here to stay forever, probably.
Yeah. So positive at the end that we've been go through these rough times. Positive things will come out, in your opinion.
Yes,
more technology, quicker technology, we believe.
Yeah, quicker technology. I guess we are learning to be more flexible in our work arrangements, in contracting models, compensation schemes, workplaces, and working hours. So this will be both sides, for candidates and from clients. Both of them will require that and try to manage that together. So this is here to stay as well. We believe we have to be more creative in the way we offer the conditions to our, let's say, talent. And the automation we see, although it's going to eliminate some kind of jobs, other types of jobs are here to stay. So there's a need to reskill and upskill, as I said before, our teams. Let's say abilities like problem solving, communication skills, customer centricity, the virtual leadership will be here, and will be more and more required from people. But, this is something that we can develop, we can train them, we can really, boost those skills. But there are other dimensions that are here, and the machines, the computers will not be able to replace, like creativity, empathy, intuition. These are innate to human beings. And at least, luckily, we have the need for those skills in a wide variety of jobs available in the market today. So in health services, in healthcare, in all the e-commerce platforms that are growing a lot. So we can find ways to apply let's say, the knowledge and the skills that we have in diverse, in new industries that we haven't tackled before.
So I hear a very overall positive message from you, Fabio, in this regards. But I mean, I think a lot of people still are afraid of job losses. I mean, the crisis is hitting most of the companies very hard. I mean, don't you believe that a lot of people will be made redundant by the end of the year, beginning of next year? Is this fear a correct fear or a relevant fear? How do you see that?
I guess it is, if people are stuck to do the things the way they always did. So when I said we skill or upskill, they need to keep learning, to keep developing themselves, So we say commercial skills, training and development. When we say about tech skills, being tech savvy, thinking about the customer journey, PMO, lots of projects going on at this time, and this will be, the routine. So there are some, specific niches in the economy or in the world of work that will require more people. And in technology, for instance, there's a huge demand for professionals, and we don't have enough supply, even these days. This has been like this for the last couple of years, and it will remain like this for the next century, probably. We don't have the ability to graduate as many professionals as we need, even before the pandemic, and it keeps growing like crazy these days. So people have to find a new way and really, get up to it, get trained, retrained to develop these new required skills that allow them to find a new job in the future.
Okay. Now I'll look at the time, Fabio, because I think I can continue talking with you for much longer than this 40 minutes. But I respect the time. Last message from your side. You're a down-to-earth, a very realistic person, positive. That is what we saw today as well. What will be your final message to the people that are listening to us today?
I guess we've learned in a tough way. So first one, be prepared for the unknown, for the unforeseen. So in that sense, build an agile organization so you are able to react quickly. And in some cases, this is based on an agile workforce. You are able to scale up or down or redeploy. So this is something that's important for you to react quickly. Finish your homework in terms of digital transformation. We've learned to adapt as quickly as possible. Someone's easier than others, but it's not about only tools, but about training, about incentivizing the adoption of new tools and the new ways of working. And most important one, as leaders of big companies that we are, manage your employer brand. So be sure to over communicate what you do, what you plan to do. Be inclusive with your employees. Be open and transparent. Show genuine interest for the human beings you have working with you. Be empathetic to their moments. Be humble. Pray what you preach. So it's a matter of increasing trust. While doing that, you increase trust and you build a stronger reputation for your business. So I guess these will be more or less the messages I have in a very short period of time that we have now. And if you have any other questions, I'm available. Thank you.
Okay, well, Fabio, I think that I couldn't have said it better, and nobody could have said it better than you did, summarizing up this in the last advice that you gave. Thank you very much for that. I mean, it takes, I think, great leaders today to challenge these challenging times. And for sure, it was a pleasure having your opinion, your views today with us at Dutcham. So thank you very much for being with us. And let's keep in touch. And hopefully I can come back and see you very quickly in the nice office, the new office, by the way, that you had since the beginning of the year.
You're invited. Thank you, Peggy, for this great opportunity. And I'm available for whatever topic you wanna reach out. I'm available. Thank you.
Super. Thank you very much. And I also would like to thank all the people that have been attending to this session today for joining us. I hope you enjoyed. Please let us know what you thought about this talk. I mean, we're also always open to get your feedback and advice. So feel free to visit us on our LinkedIn page or Instagram. And this video can also be looked back again afterwards on our YouTube channel. Have a very good afternoon. Have a very good weekend ahead. And see you soon at Dutcham. Ciao, ciao.